I mean, you just mentioned, you've been working with some high level people. What would you say is something that they and we all struggle with in general? Like even making 100K amounts to 1 mil amounts to 10 mil to whatever. What is like that one underlying thing that you found everybody's struggling with? And what would you recommend them to do to sort of make the switch in that?
So it's just always fear. It's
Always fear.
It's always fear. It's always some kind of fear, which can be combined with limiting beliefs, but it's all really the same thing. It's either like you don't believe you're good enough to get to that goal, right? You don't have enough confidence in yourself. A lack of confidence is essentially just fear. So it's the same thing. Or you believe a fear to be true, aka like I will fail if I get to this point. Or even, well, let's say you have a business and then you're scaling it up, but then you get more clients, and then now that you believe that more clients equals more headache, and your life gets worse as you get more clients.
It's like fear of success.
Exactly, fear of success, which again is just fear of failures, but masked as fear of success. So it's always fear. It's actually always fear. And so when you can remove fear, which you can actually remove, it's just a limiting belief in your mind, then you just see clearly and you see things for what they are. And if something happens that you don't want to happen, it's fine. For me, it's like reprogramming the belief. So the question I always ask is, why is this the best possible thing that could have happened when something does go wrong? Because then it will work for you anyway. Yeah. So if you see the world that way from that perspective, nothing can hurt you. Only things work for you. And when you have that viewpoint, nothing can hold you back. So it's literally just fear. In the absence of fear, this is a question, like wherever you're at right now, for the people listening, if you didn't have fear, what would you do differently right now? If you weren't scared, if you didn't have fear of failure or success or whatever, what would you do differently right now? Because I guarantee you would take more action. You already know the things you should be doing, but you would do them with certainty. Or another way of asking that question is, if you knew success was guaranteed, and if you just took the actions, what would you do? And how fast would you do it? Because if I said to you, hey, I have 2 winning lottery tickets here, and they're both for 10 million each, how quickly would you run to go cash that thing in? Because you have 100% certainty and belief that it's worth that, right? But if I say, hey, here's 2 lottery tickets, but they're losers, well, your belief is 0. So you're not even going to bother cashing it in, right? That's the same thing. People are literally sitting on that lottery ticket of if they just do those actions, they will get success, just mathematically, right? We know what to do. But people don't believe that. It's just a belief holding them back. So by hypnotizing yourself, you change the belief, you change the operating system in your subconscious mind, your actions change, your results change.
And Alex likes to talk about, Alex Hormozi says that the ladder of success, like people might have the beliefs, but they lack the skills and the traits. Can that also be like programmed in a sense quicker?
Oh, 100%.
As well?
100%. The thing is with the skills are actually the easy bit, to be honest.
I agree.
Like getting good at sales, getting good at marketing, getting good at cinematography, maybe not to exactly your level, because you guys are a baller, but like to get good enough to make 10K a month, 100K a month is so easy. You can honestly learn that in a day or two. Like the actual skill set, if you really, Hormozium says that it takes 20 hours to get really good at a skill set. So realistically, like any skill is learnable, but this is also a skill. Learning how to hypnotize yourself is also just a skill.
So it's all skills, actually.
Everything
I think you mentioned that as well.
Yeah, everything's a skill. Yeah, he says that. I actually completely agree, because everything is learnable.
Yeah.
Right? Even the way you act, the way you show up, how you look, it's a skill to change all of those things. You can change everything. Everything's changeable.
What does it mean to actually believe in yourself? Like, I think a lot of people, and this is a firm belief that I do have, is that if you truly believe that what you want to achieve, it's possible to do so, and you have a clear goal and picture as to what it is, you can achieve it. But like actually believing that it's possible, a lot of people say, oh, that they believe it or whatever, the actions don't show it. Yeah. Because you also mentioned the beliefs behind it. What do you think? What does that actually mean, believing that it's possible?
So if you enjoy this conversation and you relate with the health and wealth aspect, and you know both of these are very important when it comes to scaling a business or just as an entrepreneur in general, top link in the description if you want a more personalized approach, to scaling a business or in the health aspect as well. And also in the description is access to our free community where we've got 20 hours of content that you can just consume. 100%. If you enjoy this conversation, share it to a friend.
maybe think about subscribing, put the notifications on. It helps the channel a lot. And by doing so, we can get some more interesting guests like this. So let's get back to the video.
Well, let's just define what a belief even is, right? What is a belief? Well, it's a thought that was in your mind that's been repeated over and over again until you believe that thought to be true. That's all a belief is. So the problem is most people's beliefs are limiting beliefs that they didn't even choose to install themselves. They just came from fucking their parents, they came from a school system, they came from the environment that they were in, shitty friends around them. So you don't realize it, but those are the beliefs that are in your head. So of course you're not going to think you can succeed. Bro, if everyone who's watching this was hanging out with the people here, how quickly would their beliefs change? Why would they change? Well, you suddenly see people making millions who are actually not that different from you. So suddenly your belief changes because you think that dude over there on his laptop's making millions. He had a similar upbringing to me. He doesn't have any special things about him. So I can do that too, right? That's the value of environment and person, right? I always say your internal state equals your external reality. Your internal state is made up of your thoughts, emotions, and environment. So this is an example of like environment, what we're talking about right now. So the only thing that changed is by being around other people, your belief changed. That's literally it. So for everybody, if you want to experience a rapid belief shift, just go and be around someone who's where you want to be. Just do whatever it takes to be around that person. I don't care if it's getting on a plane, DMing 1,000 people, paying money, thrifting your way in, break into a pilot. I don't care. Whatever you have to do to see it, because when you see it, you will then believe it. That is honestly the hack to get massive belief. That's why I love hanging around with amazing people. It's because I know that if I can take lenses of their reality, I can choose to take those on, just like putting a program into a computer. The problem is most people's programming is shit. It's stuff and they're not even aware of it. They don't even know it. They're being hypnotized.
That is the most dangerous thing, is the unknown unknowns.
Bro.
It's like you're not even aware of this thing yet.
Exactly.
You don't even know what to ask.
Yep.
Like that is a question that I would love for you to answer, is like, or just at least give your opinion on it, is how do you go about identifying limiting beliefs?
So you just have to ask yourself questions. That's honestly if you're doing it by yourself, you just have to ask yourself questions. So like, for example, let's say you want to make 10K a month, or you want to make 100K a month. Well, okay, let's just ask some questions around it. Or ChatGPT it, bro, at this point. Do I believe I can make 100K a month? Yes, no. Maybe, yeah, maybe, but I don't believe this. Okay, why don't I believe that? Okay, because of this. Okay, why that? Oh, because actually like making money is hard. Okay, why do I believe making money is hard? Oh, because it was hard for my parents to make money and that's what they told me. Okay. And suddenly, like, you can start to just untangle what you actually believe just through self-inquiry. Just use ChatGPT. Honestly, use ChatGPT.
You're making it conscious.
You're becoming aware, right? That is how we raise in consciousness. I'm a very spiritual person as well. Like, we raise in consciousness by increasing our awareness. So as soon as you're aware of that limiting belief, you can change it because now you can see it. It's that's why having like a coach or having somebody or anyone in your life who can give you that third-party perspective is so valuable, because it's unseen until somebody makes it seen, right? Like they illuminate the limitation. But even just by yourself, questions, because that's all a coach will do for you. They'll just ask you, a good coach will ask you questions to help you figure it out. So you ask yourself the questions, take the time, sit down, get a pen and paper, ask yourself questions, journal prompts, just Google some stuff. I'm sure there's a bunch of shit online you can look at. And then you'll see quickly like what you believe to be true. Because if you're saying like, no, like my beliefs are really good, okay, are you at your goal? If you're not at your goal, then there's a belief somewhere that doesn't align. Because if you fully believed it, you'd be there. Or you'd be on the pathway like very quickly about to be there. You 100% would. So you can start from the goal and work your way back. That's what I always do.
I think surrounding yourself with the right people is so important, because what it does is it gives you the permission to have. I think that's all it really like encompasses. Like you meet these people and you're like I thought, and you put them on this pedestal. Like they are this like crazy human being who can do crazy things. And I also said on a previous podcast that you'll be very disappointed when you meet these people, because you are putting them on this pedestal. It's not their fault, it's your fault. You're putting on this pedestal, and then you're like, okay, and then you give yourself permission to actually achieve it as well.
Exactly.
I love that. So you just, so let's say, for example, let's take a step back. So you identify these limiting beliefs. Let's say someone doesn't have a coach, someone has no whatever. What is a couple of things they can do to now change those limiting beliefs?
it's honestly going to be so simple, you probably won't even believe this is the truth, but this is
It's a
actually...
limiting belief as well.
Yeah, literally. That's one in itself. It's actually, it's so simple, right? Just think of your mind as a computer, okay? Computer has what? Programs that go into it.
Inputs. Yeah.
Inputs. Think of the limiting belief as the input that's going into your mind right now. As soon as you're aware of what it is, let's say people with lots of money are bad.
Or evil, yeah.
Or evil, right? That's a common one. Okay. Well, once you recognize that, all you have to do is change the belief. So first, just literally write it down. What's my limiting belief? And then on another sheet of paper, be like, what's my new belief? People with, well, what could be some other things that you could believe? Well, people with money can make more impact. People with money can be more generous. They can be more abundant. They can give more. They can do more. They can be more free. And suddenly, these are all your new beliefs. And so if you then only have positive association, and I'm just using money because I know it's a lot of entrepreneurs. Obviously, it's everything, but I'm just using money. Then suddenly now, those are your new beliefs. Start repeating those beliefs. Speak those beliefs. Write those beliefs continuously. But don't just do the exercise. Because if you just do it, nothing will happen. You have to actually feel it inside of you. So do it with conviction. Do it like fucking scream it out loud. Like if you knew that you could get towards your goal and this was all you had to do to start getting there, and that is, I'm telling you, that is literally like the 80-20 of it, fucking go and do it.